and welcome to Seddon Fields here in Auckland for coverage of this round 11 clash in the ISPS Handa Premiership New Zealand Football League for 2021. This game between Waitakere United, the home team, and their crosstown rivals, Eastern Suburbs. Yes, we're at the home of Waitakere here at Seddon Fields in Westmere, and I'm pleased to report it's a nice day here for football. Just a gentle breeze, temperatures hovering in the mid-20s. So no excuses today as we're going to see two teams who have got a lot to play for go at it in this clash today. Yes, Waitakere coming off a win last week. Here is their team today. Sam Burfoot captaining the team in the number 10 jersey. Much of the play result revolves around Dane Schnell, number 6, and also Alexander Grieve, number 11. Both of those two guys have played all the minutes this season, as has Nick Draper, the keeper, and it's good to see Reggie Murati also getting another run in the backs today. So Waitakere United coming into this game in 6th place with 11 points in the league, 2 wins, 5 draws, 3 losses. They only won their second game of the league last week, but what a win it was for them away from home, 4-3 over the high-flying team Wellington, and that really did set the league alight, that win last week. Here is the Eastern Suburbs team. Still no Adam Thurston, who's struggling with a hamstring injury at the moment. Sean Bright, who was such a feature for them before Christmas, also not available anymore. He is over in Europe. We have got number 11, Foyts. Scored 4 goals last week in Eastern Suburbs' 8-0 win over the Phoenix Reserves, although the Phoenix Reserves did have 2 red cards in that game. But it was a huge win for Eastern Suburbs with Foyts getting 4 of the 8 goals. Ryan Foyts. So good to see him back on the field again today as the two teams come out. Glenn Lama's my name. Chris Milicic with us for this clash today. Both teams coming off wins last week, Chris, and both in and around that top 3 or 4 position at the moment. It should be a cracking contest, this one.
Yeah, it should be a very, very good contest. Eastern Suburbs won 8-0 last week with a couple of red cards that really hurt. At the time it was 1-0 in the second red card, and then they scored 7 from there. And then Waitakere went down to Team Wellington, kind of in a must-win game. I think if they'd have lost that, they'd have really, been out of it. And they managed to get 2 goals up, and then the game just went backwards and forwards. But what was most impressive about Waitakere was the last sort of 25 minutes when it was 4-3. And the young lads in the Waitakere team have learnt their lessons, and they certainly finished the game off well. And so we got 2 opposing teams, but both teams are young, and it's going to be a really, really interesting game. I expect them to see it with a lot of pace. And you got one team that scored 7 goals in the last 2 games. You've got another team that scored 8 goals last week. So we probably could be in a high-scoring game. Yeah, we could be. And of course, the last game we had here on this pitch 2 weeks ago, we ended up, what was it, 3 all draws, and 6 goals in that game. So that was between Waitakere and Canterbury United. And what was a very interesting game in which Sam Burfoot, of course, was sent off in that game. Didn't play last week, back today, so he'll be keen to kick on here. So Waitakere on 11 competition points in 6th place. Eastern Suburbs, are on 15 points in 3rd place. So it's tight. It's tight. It is tight, but Eastern Suburbs, they win today, they would go naturally into 2nd. They would jump Team Wellington, who play Auckland City tomorrow, and nobody knows what the score's going to be there. But if Waitakere were to win today, they suddenly find themselves sitting in the 4th position. And with 3 games to go, the league's showing itself to be really tight. You'd have to say with 20 points, Auckland City's there, because I think you'd probably only need 21. But Team Wellington on 17, they lose tomorrow, and teams all close up. It gets a bit tight. So yeah, so to make the top 4 is really important. No one actually wants to be 4th because you could end up playing Auckland away. Right. So you're straight out almost. Well, yeah, we'll see. This league is quite even, and we're getting towards the end of the season now with only 4 regular season games to go before the playoffs. So this is a big match at stake here, particularly for Waitakere. If Eastern Suburbs were to win this game, then Waitakere would find it hard to make the top 4. But we will see. It's going to be Eastern Suburbs in the black, and it's going to be Waitakere in the white. If you're watching for the first time, Waitakere to kick off, and here we go. We're underway, and they're playing towards the harbour end of Seddon Fields, and it's going to be Eastern Suburbs who will build from the back straight away. Last meeting between these two was back on December the 6th, and it finished 2-2 that day. Jack Duncan and Josh Redfern scoring the goals for Waitakere, Adam Thurston and Stephen Hoyle from the penalty spot scoring
for Eastern Suburbs. Both of those players, Hoyle and Thurston, not starting in this game, although Hoyle is listed as a substitute on the Eastern Suburbs bench. So we'll see if he comes on a bit later. But no Adam Thurston. He's such a force through the first part of the season, leading the league in goal scoring. Not bad for a midfielder. But he hasn't been seen since Christmas with his hamstring injury. So it'll be interesting to see how Eastern Suburbs play without him.
Yeah, look, I think Adam Thurston, whilst he was playing, was probably the best player in the league. He was certainly the most dangerous player. His ability to shoot from distance off either foot. He scored some wonderful goals. I mean, the last game, as you alluded to, Waitakere were comfortably 2-0 up, and then Adam Thurston scored a goal from 25 metres that would grace any part in the world, and got them back into the game. So, look, without him, they've lacked a little bit of a real penetration. They move the ball very well, and they set things up well, and they try to play out from the back. And they do really well, but I think at the end of the day, you still need the ability to penetrate, and that is key. If you can't do that, all your possession ends up being nowhere.
So Eastern Suburbs now moving into Waitakere's penalty area, and this is a good little burst here from Foyt, who got 4 goals last week. He'll have to get some goal scoring. Now that's Kingsley Sinclair, but there's a flag up for offside, so Waitakere will breathe a bit of a sigh of relief.
So the most interesting thing that's different today from an opposition team against the Waitakere shape, because of the score last week, is both Jake Michelle and the boy Foyts will play a little bit wider. Eastern Suburbs like to go wider and around teams, whereas Team Wellington want to bring them in. And of course, when you bring them in, that means you're playing against a back three, and there's always a marked situation. The big thing for Waitakere today, of course, is there's no Gerard Garriga because he picked up his 5th yellow card, and they'll miss him today.
They will miss him today because he played every minute of every game up until his 5th yellow card last week. So interesting to see who picks up that midfield general's kind of role, which he had been occupying. Maybe, but Burfoot slots straight in.
Well, Burfoot slots straight in, but I think also that Leo Vanderhoven, who played extremely well last week, the expectation is he'll do the same level of commitment like he did last week.
Ooh, that was close, Murati. And that was excellent work from him down the right, and it just clipped over Schnell's foot. And
it was close.
It was a very relief, Daniel Drake, to have gathered that one for Eastern Suburbs.
It's as a goalkeeper, it's flying into you, and you're looking at your shoulder, off your shoulder, just thinking, I hope nobody comes flying in front of me because I don't want to have to step into this thing because it is flying.
Indeed. So, Handa Hayden and Drake.
It's already settled into how the game's going to be. A little bit more cagey than you expect.
Here comes Thomas, now the captain of Eastern Suburbs, looking to just give it a bit more intensity at the moment. Goes to Handa Hayden. Looking for some space on the right-hand side, but it's easily cut out by Murati in the end for Waitakere. Now this is Vandenhoven for Waitakere. We'll settle it down. See Diamond back in the team today too. Robert Diamond not playing last week for Waitakere and Milicic, 2 young defensive players. Good signs for New Zealand football to see 2 youngsters like that coming through as Draper gets rid of it. Uses a bit of breeze behind him, and that wasn't a bad clearance. Bit of a push in the back there, and referee Kelvin Berg has given a free kick to Eastern Suburbs.
Yeah, as we talked last week, that is my pet hate these days. A player feels a slight touch on their shoulder and they do fall. It is a foul. I'm not saying it's not, but I think that players could do more to protect the ball with a flatter body, with not such a flat body shape, so they're not so easy to shove off the ball. But you know, you're in a bit of trouble there, and the referee has to recognise, is it real trouble or is it to the advantage of the player? So, yep, we'll see how it goes. He's got to be consistent now.
Thomas, that's a good ball, and chasing through is Reed Drake here for Eastern Suburbs. Thomas comes forward again. That's excellent, moving into space from him. Very experienced players, Thomas. Here's a chance. Flag stays down for Eastern Suburbs, and a great stop there from Draper. Superb. Over the bar, and what a well-worked move from Eastern Suburbs. Almost deserved a goal, but Draper, what a stop.
Yeah, look, Nick's just continuing his performances here. He's probably been one of the form keepers, and yeah, it was a great move, but it also showed you the advantage of having 2 players wide. So Adam Thurston was able to pick it up. Adam Thomas was able to pick it up and run inside, and it really did cause problems.
Yeah, Sinclair it was with the shot. Great replay on the save there from Draper. Each team from going 1-0 down early in this contest. There goes the corner. And it's away comfortably by Waitakere. Still in possession, though, of Eastern Suburbs that they'll build now from the back through Van der Hayden. Plays a good long ball coming through here too is Drake again. Now Michelle. And it's back to Adam Thomas. Thomas will switch it over to the other side of the field. This is Robert Sabo. Gray. Thomas again, right on this right-hand side, and shy on putting the foot down is Adam Thomas.
It's really good to see Adam playing. He had many years out with a serious groin injury, and he's come back. He was one of the standouts for the 2011 Under-20 World Cup, where he played centre mid with Colin Murphy. And he was without doubt one of the players that whenever our opposition coach talked to me, he was the one they looked at. So to be out for that length of time and to see him come back is brilliant. He's technically really, really tidy. He can play, and he's got incredible pace, and he's got a willingness to play the game. So I always love watching Adam play, because I think he's one of the better players we've produced over the years.
Yeah, Adam Thomas, former London Olympian as well.
Yes.
Down to 23 team that went to that Olympic Games. And now Daniel Drake tries to find his brother, and it's snuck through almost there for Reed Drake. And it's tidied up by Burford. Good contest between him and Sinclair for the ball here. Oh, and he's just eluded Sinclair. And now could open up for Waitakere. Only 3 players forward at the moment. Now Duncan is one of them. He's on the ball here. And it's not going to be kept in there by Zach Sorosic, who started the move. Duncan just overcooking that pass just a touch.
Well, the wind's going to cross towards our faces. So if you're going to knock a ball this way, it is going to probably run away once the wind gets in behind it.
It's something to keep an eye on. It can come from varying directions here at Seddon Fields. Today it's from the north. It's lovely and warm. Flag is up that time. It's offside. Dane Schnell got on the score sheet. Didn't actually get on the score sheet last week, Dane Schnell.
No. Out of all the players, he was the one that didn't. You know, it was a couple of really good goals. Well, all 7 goals were very good goals. Hamish Watson got a hat-trick, and unfortunately was on the losing side, and once again showing as a leading goal scorer in the league how dangerous he really is.
Edwards over there, marked up that time by number 21, Andrew Crom, for Waitakere. Eastern Suburbs with the throw-in, 8 minutes gone, 0-0. Just that one big opportunity for Eastern Suburbs, repelled by Draper. Here's Thomas, who was instrumental in that one. Not going to catch up with that one is Michelle, and Milicic will just let it go over for a goal kick.
It's interesting. A lot of these players have played against each other for many years, you know, at youth football, etc., and they know each other so well. So really, when it comes to games like this, it's really the structure of each team and the philosophy they have that differentiates between the team that's going to be most dominant. And you'd have to say at the moment, with one chance created to Suburbs, they've settled a bit better. Every attack for Waitakere so far has been a little bit rushed, but we've only been 8.5 minutes into the game, so yeah.
Every player bunched around the halfway on that right-hand side, which is interesting at the moment. So not a lot of room as the ball's played down towards Daniel Edwards, and will be a Waitakere throw-in.
It's something that Waitakere started to do last week, in the fact that the keeper started to go long, and I think it was more a case of let's ask questions of the opposition that perhaps we haven't been asking on a more regular basis. And look, they've done something right. They've scored 7 goals in the last 2 weeks, which previously I don't think they were struggling to even score 1. You know, so they've changed a philosophy and a mindset, and it seems to be working. And they're driving and trying to push themselves to the playoffs. And so, you know, all power to whichever team wants to do it.
So Milicic with a throw-in, and he's got a long throw-in, and he's throwing with the wind, so he should get this one well into the penalty area. As Milicic's throw, a little flick header was Diamond, and that just escaped Alex Grieve, didn't it?
Well, I think he thought Jack Duncan was going to pull it down. If we can see it on the replay, it's a shot and it's going. Milicic has thrown it, it's come out, and Leo Vanderhoven's hit it first time. And you can see that it's going to run, and Jack's gone to play, and Alex Greaves assumed he's going to make it. And if Jack had stepped over, Alex Greaves would have hit it. He might have been offside, though. He was definitely looked like he was a little bit beyond.
It's nicely brought to deck by Michelle. It's a good ball forward here for Foyts. Into the penalty area here for Eastern Suburbs. Good block there from Murati. And now points. No whistles, play on, and Eastern Suburbs still have the ball. Murati on that right side is going to be a key player again for Waitakere. He's had 2 strong performances in the last 2 games. There's Michelle trying to snudge that one through.
Yeah, it's a free kick there. Calvin Berg, the referee's done a really good job there. He's let the play go, and he's seen if there's any sort of advantage, and there certainly wasn't. But Rob Diamond came out, and as the ball was played, he put his foot in, and he's just sort of hit through the player.
Well, so Diamond conceding the free kick. I must admit, Chris, I missed that one. Oh, yeah, there it is there.
Yep.
Not much in that, really.
No, but it is a foul.
Yeah.
It is a foul.
More like a clash of bodies, but yes, on the replay, it was clear to see. So good refereeing. So this is Reed Drake over the ball here now for Eastern Suburbs. Oh, he's pushed that one well wide. Gray, straight back towards Draper, and Draper's done well there. And he's outletted it to Duncan, who's off and running here. This is a good counter coming here from Schnell, and he's got Grieve, who stayed on side. So Grieve on the ball. Michelle's back in good position, and he did a good job there to stop that one.
Yeah, look, it's a hallmark of Waitakere over the last few weeks. It's just counter-attack at pace, and there's no, once a player wins the ball in a more advanced area, they're definitely looking to counter-attack as fast as they possibly can and get numbers forward. It's been successful for them, but they're up against a team that will be fit, will be prepared, and so they're going to have to be a little bit cleaner when they're doing it.
Here's Milicic with that long throw in again. And it's going to win a corner for his team too, with the ball coming off Von der Hayden. So it's a corner for Waitakere. Chance for a couple of big lads to come forward, like Reggie Murati.
I think the targets for these...
Short corner. They've gone short. Grieve. And here's Duncan again. Duncan's going for goal, and it's straight in the hands of Drake. And Drake's got it.
Yeah, if you're going to do those and you get the shot, you've got to go towards one of the posts. But a lot of players, when they cut inside, they don't get enough whip to go far, and it always ends up in the middle. And for a goalkeeper, you're like, I'm really, really pleased. Yeah, it's got to go higher, it's got to go near. But if you stick in the middle, Daniel's not going to drop those, It's interesting, there's a lot of movement at the back from Eastern Suburbs in the ball, but they've been most effective when they've gone forward a little bit earlier, And so it's hard to break down a team that is prepared to sit off you and let you have the ball, because you can keep all the possession, but then when you're working to find an opening, it's a little bit more difficult. So you've got to play to what's required. So it'll be really interesting to see how the game pans out. This is one of the games that I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, 13 minutes gone, still 0-0. And Reed Drake's got the ball there for Eastern Suburbs, and in space as well. 2 goals last week Reed Drake got. Into the area he comes, Michelle. It all went a little bit messy in the end there. Don't know what Reed Drake and Michelle were trying to cook up there. Well, but they're having a discussion about it right now.
Yeah, I think that Reed had it in his mind that he was going to go forward and try and shoot, and then he decided he needed to pass, and Jake had already decided that he was going to shoot, so he needed to start moving into maybe get a second phase ball, and and it's a bit like if you're playing rugby trying to put a winger in and suddenly he cuts inside. So
exactly. A communication.
Yes.
Muck up at the end of the day, that one, wasn't it?
Well, just a not understanding what the player on the ball's trying to achieve.
Here comes Draper. Did that touch anyone? And it won't be Waitakere ball. So Eastern Suburbs in 3rd place in the league. Eastern Suburbs actually haven't beaten Waitakere for almost 2 years. Last 3 meetings have been 2 draws, and Waitakere had a win. And dear, oh dear, this could be 1 goal! And Drake got back to save it fantastically from Jack Duncan. Wow. How on earth? Talk about redeeming yourself there.
That's a super save from both keepers. Jack's hit it. I mean, the defender's done remarkably well there. He's managed to realise he's in big trouble. He doesn't overcommit so that Jack could duck around him. He's just waited there. It's hit him on the hip, which has probably taken enough off for Danyon to be able to make the save. But that's a great recovery. I bet you his heart was in his mouth and thinking, oh, my God, I've just cost us a goal.
Oh, my goodness. That was amazing. That Eastern Suburbs didn't score there.
So both keepers have had a moment already.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? Well, this is shaping up to be a pretty interesting contest. Now it's Jack Duncan to take this corner. And it's away by Eastern Suburbs. Grieve, they're not the tallest player, out-jumped on that occasion by Sabo, but it's still here for Waitakere. Grieve, that's a good ball to Zoricic. Zoricic can cross this one in, didn't get a good connection. And hopefully Foyts for Eastern Suburbs can make something of this. Sinclair couldn't pick that one up, and Diamond, very promising player in that central defensive position, gets rid of it for Waitakere.
I think that Rob's, he's managed to get himself fit. He came back and hadn't played any games, suddenly had 2 games on the bounce, and last week I think it was needed a bit of a break. I mean, you suddenly go from not playing to playing 2 National League games in a row, and so he's back in today, and he's probably well deserved for his performances to start today.
Well, another good young player coming through. Diamond, just 21 years old, and now Waitakere, it's a good run from Schnell. Edwards over there trying to disrupt him for Eastern Suburbs, so to number 18, Sabo. Will be a corner. Is the ruling by the assistant over there. So another chance for...
Overruled by the referee.
Yeah, it's gone back to
mainly because the players all sold them in, because all the Waitakere players are jogging back and all the Suburbs players are coming out. So the rest probably looked at that and gone, well, they all think it's a goal kick. We'll give a goal kick.
Indeed. So still 0-0, 16 minutes played. Hope you're enjoying our coverage here for this ISPS Handa Premiership here on Sky Sport Next. Round 11 clash. Drake, Daniel Drake. Going long, Michelle is the target. Milicic is there to make the ball to safety. Thomas with the throw-in. Michelle. Sabo coming forward now in space. What a great ball, and it's easily cut out there by Andrew Crom. And that's a great ball to Duncan, and he's through. Duncan, Grievous up there in the penalty area. Duncan, another stop there from Drake, and that one definitely is a corner for Eastern Suburbs.
Definitely a corner. So what's happening now is Waitakere are now pushing their front players to try and close down the back 4 of Eastern Suburbs. But what they're not doing to lock it up is their wing backs aren't stepping up onto the fullback, and the strong side centre back stepping up onto the fullback. So they're still allowing them to play off, and I'm sure that Paul Hobson and the coaching staff of Waitakere have seen that, and it's something they're going to have to fix, or otherwise it's just too easy for the fullbacks to get out.
Grieve and Duncan going short. Now Duncan plays it in now. Is comfortably cleared by Eastern Suburbs, but the pressure will stay on with Waitakere having a throw, and Milicic is going to come over and ask to throw it long again. So all Waitakere's players, but Zoricic have pushed forward once more. It's Nicholas Milicic. Burfoot. Milicic again, now Burfoot. There was always a bit of a lower percentage play, that one from Sam Burfoot.
Well, I think he thought some of the strikers were going to make a diagonal reverse cut run, and then they all decided to go straight, yet he's played a ball that just didn't go anywhere. And unfortunately, the first 10 minutes you'd have to say Eastern Suburbs got control of the game, but in the last sort of 10 minutes Waitakere have come back into it and probably created 2 really good chances, did create 2 really good chances that they perhaps will be regretting not scoring from.
Michelle Edwards chasing through, but there's a free kick here. Yep. Michelle concedes it, and it's going to be Waitakere ball.
I'm not sure it's a free kick, but the referees, for player safety, just put it down. I mean, yeah, that's the first one. It's the second one that he didn't like. Yep, nothing wrong with that, but, player hits the deck for player safety. The refs are more cautious.
Another good ball is Alex Grieve on the left here, and that one's been deflected out by Thomas for a corner. So Waitakere keeping the pressure on here. And Grieve and Duncan look to cook up something short again this time.
Yeah, the ref's got to get that player back. You must be 10 metres away from any set piece.
And I'll tell you what, Daniel Edwards was only just back 10 metres as Duncan goes for goal, and it was on target again, and Drake was down.
But this time he aimed for a post and forced the goalkeeper to make a save in which he could drop anything. So your percentage and your opportunity to score a second fave considerably increased. Now, Daniel's got really clean hands here, but you're more likely to score by going in there by not.
Burfoot's picked up the loose ball. Now, Grieve is onside here for Waitakere. No, he's offside. Well, that was a close call.
Just because the line's been running, you've got to wait to see whether they're going to put their hand up. But
look, Chris, I thought he was onside.
Look, I thought he was too. But like every player or every spectator that stands on the sideline, if you're not quite in line, you've got no idea, really. you can surmise, you think you can get it right, but, you know, you're struggling to see what the linesmen see.
Gray, Christian Gray here for Eastern Suburbs. Again, plenty of space for him to bring the ball forward, but has he managed to keep possession for his team? Edwards, eventually, it's been lost. Good work from Schnell. And now Waitakere have the ball. And that's Crom playing forward again. His long balls have been very good so far as Duncan tries to keep it in field there for Murati to chase, and it has actually stayed in field. Drake will again settle it down here for Eastern Suburbs. There's good pressure from Waitakere at the moment.
Well, yeah, one of the key things is, as Christian Gray did there, once you get a centre-back running and someone's chasing them, he doesn't get the stability to knock a really clean ball, and so then the next one is actually well gettable. And they're doing exactly what we talked about before. You know, the wing-backs get up on the full-back, the centre-back gets out, and suddenly the pressure to play out, or the pressure you can apply to someone trying to play out, becomes significantly higher.
This is Thomas, the captain. Eastern Suburbs with the throw-in. Simply they can't win the ball in the air. And it's all the way back to Draper, the British-born keeper. Made that brilliant stop, and he's let himself down there a little bit there, and Eastern Suburbs taking it quickly. Draper has to turn around. He was a little bit distracted by his poor clearance.
Yeah, well, you'd have to say that Andrew Crom, who is a young player, he had the opportunity to head it back, and he's elected to play it back off his weaker foot, and it's bouncing in and it's gone to Drape's left foot, and so he can't even play it first time. So, you know, just those are the little things that matter. Play it to the correct foot at the right time and at the right pace, and this is a little bit ugly.
Eastern Suburbs have a chance here, and unfortunately Foyts couldn't get it on target. Some pretty, some interesting headers.
Rob Diamond just put his head there, then Zach doesn't know what's behind him, and then Foyts has taken a touch and decided, I'm going to volley it, and yeah, all round that's not good football from anyone, really.
Yes, that's all history now.
Referee's having a quiet word to Nick Draper, but I think that's more to do with Draper's response for the throw-in that happened really quick when he still hadn't got himself back in goal, but that's really not the referee's problem, you know. Once again, we're going to see one of these long knocks from Nick Draper. They're obviously pretty confident they can win ball in the air, or at least win the second phase.
Well, Edwards has got the second phase ball that time for Eastern Suburbs.
But this is the ball they're looking for. When they force the opposition to play, that's the ball they're looking for.
Draper up for Waitakere.
That's the one you're looking for when you do that they play back to the keeper, you can get some pressure on the keeper, he knocks it, and you end up picking up clean possession at halfway.
Yeah.
It is it is a tactic. Especially it allows you to get a lot more pressure onto the opposition players in a way in which they may not feel comfortable.
Now, referee Nathaniel Drake is upset with something.
Goalkeepers are always upset about something, mate, unless you're calm like me.
Known you for a while, Chris. Still waiting for that day. Here's Nicholas Milicic. Waitakere will win the ball again. Just a glorious afternoon for football, isn't it? It's not too hot. It's just
cooled down enough, and the beauty about taking the coolness is the rubber chips in the field don't heat up as hot, and so they're a little bit more giving on the ball.
Milicic is flicked on. Here's a chance for Waitakere. Duncan! 1-0. Waitakere, and Jack Duncan, who's been one of the better players on the pitch so far in this game, has got the goal. That gives the team in white the lead after 24 minutes.
Yeah, no, look, that's a goal that is basically a set piece. It's a very good long throw. Rob Diamond's managed to get something on it. Dane Schnell's controlled it, and he's rolled it beyond all the defenders who were attracted to Dane Schnell. Now, this is key here. Dane could have turned and had a shot, but he's dragged enough players, including that one on the far post, and then it's come to a Jack Duncan, and he's just able to put it away, tuck it away. So, you know, it's taken the lead 1-0. Either team could have taken the lead, so game should open up a little bit now.
Yeah, Duncan scored his third goal of the season in his 10th game. In fact, one of his other two was against Eastern Suburbs as well back in December. So well done to him. getting on the score sheet. Good young player here. He's only 19 years old.
Look, when he came on against Canterbury, the difference he made was unbelievable, and I think he's just going on from there, you know. The difference, he made the big difference and allowed the goals suddenly started flowing, even the 10 men. So, look, I think he's proven his point to the coaching staff that he should start every week, and good on him. You know, sometimes it doesn't go your way, and you just got to put your head down and work really hard and get yourself back into it.
And he's done that really well. It's Jack Duncan.
And then he's done that.
Well, he just didn't get a good connection on that one, but it's the right idea. Almost cut out nicely there for Waitakere by Vandenhoven, but now this ball has actually fallen nicely for Eastern Suburbs. A chance now for them to equalise, perhaps. Into the area it comes, Michelle.
No, hand on the ball.
There were appeals there for a penalty, but they go unanswered by referee Berg. Still here for Eastern Suburbs. This is Edwards. Edwards plays it in. Michelle to the far post.
Oh, what a great piece of defending.
Away from number 10, Reed Drake, and it's going to be a corner.
What a great piece of defending. Like, one of the hardest things to do as a player is head back towards your goal, chasing someone, and... Got ball. Keeper got ball. And the player, look, once again, you know, you feel something and you decide to hit the deck because it's almost a guarantee, you know, penalty. But the reality is the player could easily have swept himself away for that with a second touch and had a go.
Here's Drake with the corner for Eastern Suburbs. Far post is the target. Thomas can't get control of that header, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Interesting. He was free. I mean, great corners routine where they've got players all in motion going inside, and Adam Thomas went the other way, and they've hit Adam Thomas, but no Waitakere player was marking him. They don't want to do that too often, especially if it's a player like Christian Gray, who has the capacity from 12 metres to score in the air.
1-0. Jack Duncan, the goal scorer for Waitakere. Plenty of time to go before half-time.
We are seeing quite a few goals scored early in games now, you know, which just shows the teams are trying to score goals. They're trying to be effective.
Here's a chase. It's going to work out here, but Draper is back, and that was Ryan Foyts again. Good pace shown by him.
But once again, Eastern Suburbs were extremely effective off a long direct pass that went into feet. Yeah, so whilst people say, you know, whilst everyone goes, yeah, no, they play really good football, and they do play really good football, they are also prepared to...
Here's a chance. 2-0. 2-0. They left him alone, Leon Vandenhoven, and he made them pay.
Well, that just opened up.
Eastern Suburbs just kind of standing around like statues, and Vandenhoven made that look really easy.
It'll be interesting on the replay. Yeah, he's picked it up and he started running. They're all backing away, but there are good runs off. If you have a look at, there's enough runners from Jack Duncan, Schnell and Alex Greaves here. They just keep working away from him, which locks up other players. Yeah, and they just didn't close, and he saw a pocket, and Daniel unfortunately couldn't be able to cover that pocket.
So 2-0. Well, this game's been turned on its head.
It's not what anyone was expecting.
And the first 25 minutes was pretty even, Chris.
Pretty even.
That's football. You've got to put the ball in the back of the net, don't you?
It is, but you'd have to say that, you know, Waitakere have had, you know, only 3 losses all year. And so they're not a team that's used to losing. So, you know, and one of them was to Auckland City, which you get to expect. And, so it's going to be really interesting. And last week they showed they're able to hold on to a winning position. It's a long time, don't get me wrong, it's a long way to go, but for Waitakere in particular, they'd have to be really pleased where they're currently sitting.
Torosic. Duncan the target of that long ball. Torosic out there trying to win it too for Waitakere. But Eastern Suburbs being rocked somewhat by conceding those 2 goals inside 3 minutes. And now it's Gray trying to build from the back.
Yeah, they're going to, as I said, they're going to be a little bit more direct. They're definitely going to try and achieve something because they really need to get back into the game by half-time. They are going to be going in 2-0 half-time. But they do have Stephen Hoyle on the bench, which you'd have to expect later on in the game. He'll come on and he does make a big difference. He is a very, very good footballer.
Oh, that's given up easily there, and it's Sinclair pouncing on it here for Eastern Suburbs, and it's going to be another corner.
One of the things I like about the younger players that you see now is they're prepared to have a go, but also when they get back, the speed at which they recover shows that they've been well coached, and especially players like Zach have been well coached over a large period of time with the basics of the game.
Here's Reed Drake taking it short here for Kingsley Sinclair. Drake getting more angle on his cross, and it's straight to Draper. Too close to the keeper that time from Reed Drake.
Yeah, like we said before, you're going to come in on that angle, you've really got to hit near or far, and anything you put in the middle, well, the keepers are just going to get.
Thomas, nice control. Drake is back there.
Especially keepers at this level.
Yes, indeed. There's Milicic. This is Diamond. Support from his captain too, Burfoot. It's Orisic, good turn. Player Zach Orisic talks about him. That's a good ball to Grieve. He's still on side here, Alex Grieve. Long post was the target. He's got a fall here for Vandenhoven, the goal scorer. Sabo's muscled him off the ball, but didn't clear it particularly effectively. Murati! Grieve! 3-0! No, he's offside. He's offside, Alex Grieve. Hard luck for him. Hard luck for him. Very close to another goal there.
This will be really interesting. Murati scored a goal like this against Wellington last week. He cut inside. Everyone thinks he's going to shoot with his right. He comes on his left and he hits it. Oh, Daniel's touched that.
He has touched it.
That should stand. Interesting.
Well, it was clear.
Danion's actually played the ball and played him on. We can't, but he could have been offside right at the beginning. It's really tough to see.
Yeah, it's tough to see. So 2-0, the score remains. Very close to scoring for Waitakere.
I tell you, Suburbs will not want to go down 3. I mean, it sounds, there's always a lot of goals, but 3's a lot.
It is indeed, is Michelle. Going to be a corner anyway. Feels for a handball there, but corner. Michelle plays it back to Thomas.
Waitakere just not getting enough players out for these short corners.
Thomas again. And Drake is on it here for Eastern Suburbs. Tries to find Michelle. Can't quite get there, Jack Michelle.
Very good defending by Waitakere there.
And now Sabo plays it in again, keeping the Waitakere defence on their toes. Drake can't win it for Eastern Suburbs. Waitakere through Duncan. That's a good ball. Sam Burfoot.
See what he was trying to do there.
Grieve to chase. And now Burfoot to Grieve again. Here's a chance. Vandenhoven. He won't have a pop. Murati's come forward. Murati could cross in. But Thomas is away for a corner. Good work again from Waitakere. Nice build-up.
Nice build-up, and interesting, their build-up's really quite effective at the moment, and we've now got a situation where Eastern Suburbs are trying to get a goal to get back in the game, but they're actually allowing themselves to get hurt on a counter, and they're having to defend really well as well. So, I know it is 2-0, but I think we've got a lot more goals still in this game.
Yeah, Eastern Suburbs certainly capable side. Remember they put an 8 in the goal last week as Duncan with this corner, and unfortunately for Waitakere, he wasn't able to get on target, was Andrew Crom, but he got the free header, or pretty much free header, the near post.
Well, he is a tall boy, and he can certainly jump. And what you're seeing now, look, Suburbs are going to struggle to find their outside players because of the change that we said to before, where the wing-backs are getting themselves up quite well to stop any ball that gets played out on their side, and allowing the fullback, our centre-backs to come across and become the fullbacks in the back 3.
Milicic again going long with a throw. Drake for Eastern Suburbs. Edwards trying to win it again, and Christian Gray. Messy one in the air by Vandenhoven. Now it's down the deck. Murati. Schnell. That's come off him for Eastern Suburbs ball.
So with 10 minutes to go till half-time, Waitakere will be trying to get a third because now's an opportunity in the game to achieve it.
Absolutely. But they don't have it at the moment. Oh, Van der Hayden's been robbed of possession, and here comes Grieve. 3-0, it's another one for Waitakere.
This is quite unbelievable.
Some quite clumsy defending there from clearing there from Van der Hayden. And Alex Grieve is quick as a flash. Gets his 5th goal of the season. And it's 3-0. Grieve again, excellent work from him.
That's a very, very good goal. But once again, the players around him moved in a particular way that pulled other defenders some pressure off. So, Eastern Suburbs has got a real problem there. I did think there was a foul in the build-up to that, like Waitakere had fouled the Eastern Suburbs player, and I was surprised the referee let it go. But he's been very consistent, so he obviously felt comfortable with it. But I think some of the Suburbs players may have been thinking they had the opportunity to get a free kick there.
It's going to be hard yards now as Burfoot picks up on a loose ball and gives it to Grieve. One touch this time to Schnell. Schnell was saved by Drake, but Grieve, he can't get it on target for goal number 4.
This is not what anyone expected. And the counter-attack capability of Waitakere is really to fore here. And of course, Suburbs are trying to play their way through, but once again, another win. Another win with a foul.
Well, that was Grieve just going close. Put on target now. Players resumed, and there's a foul from Eastern Suburbs. And it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, and that's a little bit that's a response to what's going on. As players, you go, what is going on? We need to sort this out. And sometimes anger's not bad because you should be angry. You've conceded 3 goals that you really would have thought, a team like Suburbs have been playing so well wouldn't be conceding those goals. And they could have conceded a 4th there, which would have been quite incredible.
So Reed Drake it was with the foul. It's Sam Burfoot.
Referee wants a word. There's a lot of pushing and shoving going on there, and he's just coming over to have a word because, there is a lot of pushing and shoving in all set pieces, but it's getting a little testy out there.
So here's the free kick taken by Burfoot. Vandenhoven puts it back in towards the penalty area. And now Eastern Suburbs can clear. And Michelle tries to find Foyts. Again, Crom is back there to defend the situation effectively for Waitakere. 8 minutes to go until half-time. Goals to Jack Duncan in the 25th minute. To Leon Vandenhoven in the 28th. And Alex Grieve in the 35th. There's Edwards for Eastern Suburbs. Crom gets his foot in the road. Murati clears a great ball down to Grieve, but he is on his lonesome. Christian Gray again will put it out, and Waitakere will have a throw in an attacking position.
Yep, counter-attack against a ball position team that want to go wide is very, very effective because you're quite often 1-on-1 or 1-on-2 and force them to now go back. So the Suburbs players were attacking around the edge of box. They've had to sprint 70, 80 metres to get back, and it just means that Waitakere have certainly not rested. They're not by any means thinking this game's over.
Vandenhoven will be Eastern Suburbs ball again this time. Let's see if they can just settle things down here. It's all got away from them these last 15 minutes. Again, the throw-in goes straight to a white jumper. Ray gets it downfield as Diamond leaves that one for Milicic. Vandenhoven to Murati. And there's going to be a throw in for Waitakere.
That was a little interesting. Leave your foot in a little bit when you make the tackle. But no, I think what we're seeing now is a team that's been scoring goals. As we said, they've scored 4 and 3 in the last 2 weeks against full teams, and I often think, when you're playing against 9 players, it can all get a little easy, and that's not how you want to finish any game.
Here's Vandenhoven, and Drake is down. That one was on target as well, Chris.
That's right. So the 8-0 really didn't help Suburbs much at all because it's all too easy, and you get a little sloppy. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but that is what happens.
Oh boy, and here's Diamond almost losing it to Sinclair, but it's going to be a corner.
Well cleared.
Eastern Suburbs. But you're right, your point, I think that point is a good one. It can kind of give you a false sense of security. I think it's the term you're looking for there.
Yeah.
Here comes Drake with this corner though. Let's see if Eastern Suburbs can get it back on track. Boy, they need something out of this first half. Drake. There goes Michelle with the header, but he couldn't get any power on it. And it's cleared away by Diamond, and it's going to be Eastern Suburbs throw-in. Taken quickly by Drake. Here's Foyts. Voids and gives it back to Drake. It's a good ball into Sinclair. Needs a runner. There's one, and it's Voids, and he couldn't quite get it on target. That was actually good work from Eastern Suburbs.
It was good work. You know, the player posted himself, rolled it round the corner, and there was an opportunity to score. And look, it was well. But going back to the point we made before, competitive teams need to be competitive the whole time. I remember many years ago, Waitakere ended up playing Auckland City, and Auckland City got down 3 players sent off, and we were playing against 8, and it was the weirdest game ever. And it actually hurt us the following week because it didn't feel like we'd played a game. I know they felt like they'd played a game because they had 7 players running around the place.
What was the score?
3-1. And I actually, to be fair, as a team, we were 3-1 up at the time when the last one, I just said, just keep the ball. Let's not. Because the funny thing about football is you've got to stay in your shape. Suddenly there is no shape. You're not playing against the shape. And players tend to want to stay in their shape. We could have scored more goals, but the reality was to us against Auckland, just win the game. Didn't really matter how many goals you scored.
Exactly, as Thomas. So we relates to last week's 8-0 win by Eastern Suburbs over the Phoenix, who had 2 players sent off. Long ball to Michelle, and it's defended again in the air by Zoricic. 4 minutes to go until half-time here at Seven Fields. Team in white dominating on the scoreboard.
Yeah, but you'd have to say they may be dominating the scoreboard, but it's actually a really competitive game. You know, both teams are getting opportunities. I just think that the Waitakere's willingness to counter-attack at the pace is what's basically the difference right now.
And we've also capitalised on some poor clearances as well.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking. And the fact that, you know, I know Eastern Suburbs, this is a pitch that is difficult to play out like this because there is a bobble on the pass, and I think that that's hurting them as well. You know, that ability to zip it like they're used to.
Zoricic comes forward again. And it's an interesting one, of course, Waitakere have not won here all season. This is their home ground.
Yeah, take the kibosh off it, mate.
Well, surely now, the 3-0 scoreline, 3 minutes out from half-time. Although the last time we were here, Chris, we saw some crazy things, didn't we? We thought Canterbury should have waltzed away with that win.
Well, they were 2-0 up with about 12 to go.
And Waitakere were down to 10 men.
That's right, and suddenly it was 3-2 to Waitak, and then, you know, Garb and Coughlin scored a very, very good goal to suddenly have the game tied up, and you're like, well, okay.
Yeah, it was a weird game too, wasn't it?
It was a weird game. A bit like last week was a weird game too. Then actually, both teams played a weird game last week, you know. You just don't expect us to put 4 past Team Wellington. But in saying that, Team Wellington does have this problem this year where they're struggling to keep clean sheets. I think they've got 1 this year.
Yeah, it's interesting. Team Wellington. Waitakere have been buoyed by that win. Draper hasn't got a good connection on that one. It's given them confidence going down to Team Wellington, and winning is not easy as Drake. That's a great ball. Michelle. They're back in numbers though. Zoricic back there super fast. Thomas comes forward to swing this one in. There's a shot close to goal, and it's flag is up on the far side, and it is offside.
So I think since Zach Zoricic and Regi Marate started playing, and they've got Andrew Crom and Nicholas Milicic out on this side, there is a lot more pace on the outside of the Waitak defensive line. All 4 of those players are quick. They turn quick and they recover quick. And I think that that's also been part of the selection that has allowed the team to start scoring goals because you're not conceding so many goals. Or sloppy goals, as it were.
Oh, that's a close call there for Eastern Suburbs. 2 or 3 times, Chris, they've been close in this first half.
Yep, look, they wouldn't be too downhearted. They've had a couple of chances. You know, we've had a worldy goal, worldy save by Nick Draper, and unfortunately for them, opportunities at pace, and it is the pace that's really hurting them.
Murati has got plenty of pace, comes forward again. Grieve crosses it in early this time, and Schnell got it, but he was offside.
He was offside as well.
He was offside again.
It just shows the teams are right on that offside line,
good,
ready to push through. It's really good to see. It means players are confident they're going to score goals. They're ready to attack. It's a really good thing.
Good to see these guys playing football in this manner.
Play on the offside line is what a coach I had when I was young, and it takes a long time for players to realise how to play on that without getting themselves offside.
But if you can master it, it's good. Michelle.
Yeah, it's really good.
Diamond with that ball, long one for Duncan to chase. Thomas calmly back towards Daniel Drake again. Closing seconds now of the first half. 1 minute of added time in the first half as Thomas comes forward for Eastern Suburbs. Great can't shrug his defender. And Milicic will clear it down to Duncan again. Duncan, good ball to Schnell.
They got all the space in the world.
Good ball. Here's Zoricic. It's a good play from Waitakere. Nice build-up so far in this movement. Zoricic is double-teamed. Can he get out of this one?
Oh, he's done really well there.
He did. It's a corner.
That shows the skill range of Zach Zoricic. He got himself twice in the trouble there, and he's just spun the last one and gone for the corner. He's actually legitimately gone for that.
Well, we talked him up the number 14 for Waitakere 2 weeks ago when he had a really good first half here against Canterbury.
I think he's one of the most promising players in the country with his pace. And he understands the game. You know, his dad was an extremely good player. And
Duncan with this cross. Grays away for Waitakere, but it's only as far as Sam Burfoot. He's going to have a pop from long range, and Drake. Oh, why he didn't catch that one, I'm not sure, but anyway, it's another corner.
Only Daniel can tell you that.
Well, this could be the last play of the first half.
There's probably a feeling for Daniel, you know, you've led in 3, one's coming in, and you're thinking, oh, I'll just be really safe here. You know, your confidence, goalkeeper's confidence, it does go through a little bit of ebb and flow within a game. You know, you made a couple of saves, it's up, then you let something you should take, and you know, and then it can just drop off. And I think he would have just been safe rather than sorry there, because you know that is one of the killers. You put your hands up to catch it, and you don't quite catch it, and it drops over your head.
Well, here comes Duncan with this corner. Near post is the target. Crom almost there.
Just didn't get enough on it.
Appeals for a free kick, but not to be. And what a first half it has been for Waitakere United. 3-0. Goals to Jack Duncan in the 25th minute. Leon Vandenhoven in the 28th. And Alex Grieve in the 35th. Have the home team ahead. At half-time, they lead 3-0.
Wow, that's...
Yes, welcome back here to Seddon Fields. Glenn Lama here, Chris Milicic with the call of this ISPS Handa Premiership game. Round 11 of 14, and Waitakere leading 3-0 over Eastern Suburbs. Shock scoreline, with Eastern Suburbs currently sitting in 3rd place. But Waitakere, after a very good win for them last week against Team Wellington, the team currently in 2nd place, 4-3, have really taken some confidence out of that clash as we check out some of these first half highlights, Chris. And that's Jack Duncan scoring in the 25 minute to give Waitakere the lead. And then we got Vandenhoven getting number 2.
He just runs through and everyone backs off and he thinks, well, okay, I'll pass it into the goal. That's a pass. And then once again, another player caught in possession, and that could have been a foul. I thought the referee would give it, but he's obviously decided he'd lost the ball. And then once again, it's just a player gone through and passed it into the goal, which generally says if you're passing things in the goals, there's no real pressure on you.
Yeah, Alex Grieve with that goal for Waitakere. So 3-0. Long way back here for Eastern Suburbs. And they're in danger of dropping out of the top 4 if they lose this game here.
Well, no, because they'd still be in there by default that if Waitakere win, they're going to be a point behind Suburbs. So they'd be in trouble, you know, and Waitakere go 4th and they'd stay 3rd, but Canterbury could then jump into the 4 as well.
That's what I'm saying. So,
yeah.
Yeah. So it's they would really tighten it up.
Yeah, they would stay in a 4, but 3 weeks to go, you got 6 teams fighting for top 4, and with probably Auckland, the only one, and so pressure goes on Team Wellington tomorrow to have to win.
It does, doesn't it? As the second half starts here, Eastern Suburbs in the black. It's going to be Christian Gray going long straight off the bat. Can't find Michelle over on that far side of the field.
They're going to need to try and get themselves a goal early. That's what it's going to come to. They're going to want to get a goal early. They've obviously decided they're going to post. That's a great header. They're going to post themselves up on that side, and they're going to see if they can exploit Jake Michelle's obviously aerial ability over the top of other people.
Now, Sorosic has had a fine first half. Still trying to win the ball there for his team, and that's come off. Waitakere's Jack Duncan, so it's going to be a throw-in for Thomas.
So you're going to have to match the intensity. So whichever team's chasing, their intensity is going to go up hugely. So
there's Gray coming forward.
That's a great tackle.
It was a great tackle from Vandenhoven, and that was a good snapshot there from Sinclair, and well saved at the near post by Draper.
So 2 or 3 when you're heading at half-time, 2 things can occur. You can easily drop off thinking you've won it, and then the other team lifts their intensity, and suddenly you've got a huge problem.
Danger, of course, though, is Waitakere have proved very good coming forward in this game so far, and that's Murati playing it forward for Burfoot. Sam Burfoot, the former Auckland City player, is Murati. Well, he's lost that one, and now Reed Drake has it. They weren't able to hold the ball for too long, Eastern Suburbs, as Burfoot is fouled, and it's going to be Waitakere free kick.
So, yeah, so really you can't change your energy and enthusiasm. You've just got to do the same things you were doing before, because the game's not won. It's nowhere near winning. You know, it takes ages to win a game. You're not won till it's all over.
Here comes Waitakere with a throw-in. No changes to either team at half-time.
We saw Stephen Hoyle warming up, and it wouldn't surprise me if we sort of see him come into the game as it goes on. It's
cleared away by number 5, Jaden van der Hayden for Eastern Suburbs.
And now we've got a long throw, which has been already scored a goal and been very effective in the game. So what you're saying to Suburbs players, you must win clean, and then the Waitakere are ringing it with Leon Vanderhoven and Sam Burfoot for any second phase shot. They've obviously done a lot of work on these.
Milicic at the near post was his target. Diamond flicked on. It's still there, and it's in the end
too much of a flick,
wasn't it? And Drake made it an easy catch in the end for Eastern Suburbs. Thomas, the captain for Eastern Suburbs, will be keen to get some enthusiasm and intensity straight into this lineup as soon as he can in the second half. Try and pinch it back. Drake getting himself into a little bit of a pickle there. In the end, Hayden got himself into a reasonable position now. It won't work out for Eastern Suburbs with a throw-in right near the corner.
So the movement of it, you can't see it on the TV, but the movement of the Eastern Suburbs front is very much different to what it was early in the game.
Here's Thomas, coming forward, and that will be a corner conceded by Vandenhoven.
They're posting 2 players up on one of the outside centre backs, and they're hoping for diagonals or straight balls to make it a 2-on-1. And so the moment the Waitakere left or right centre half get up to win the ball, they're going to have to win it, because if they don't, there's an opportunity for Eastern Suburbs.
So all the tall timber coming forward now as Drake takes this corner for Eastern Suburbs, and unfortunately for them, and it was Thomas who couldn't get a good connection on that one.
But that's the second header Adam Thomas has had clean in the 18-yard box from a corner. Waitakere haven't fixed that up, but also that's an opportunity. You know, if he can get up and head it back, there's likely to be a goal scoring opportunity. So great corner routine by Eastern Suburbs to create that spare player on the back post like that.
Yeah, straight over everyone, that one. Didn't touch a soul. Murati trying to keep it in field for his team, and now Sabo with their throw-in.
Interesting. It keeps them on one side of the field, though, sort of knocks from the goalkeeper. You know, so Suburbs wants to open the whole game up to sort of make it a bit of a run, and it just keeps them down one side.
Edwards nudges it forward to Sinclair. He hasn't been able to keep that in the field of play. In fact, the assistant reckon he did. Anyway, Sabo. Foyts. Good challenge from Diamond there.
Yeah, they'll be looking to get a ball across, because you've got Jake Michelle outside the back far wing back, and you've got Reed Drake popping out there. So they're trying to get a 2-on-1 onto the outside. So it's very good coaching by Wani Edwards. He sees an opportunity there. It's basically, he said, this is how we're going to score goals, and this is how we're going to score a lot. So their way they're going to play has changed from the start to where we are right now.
Andrew Crom with the throw-in. Goes along to Duncan. Gray's on it. Guides it back to Daniel Drake. That was with authority, that header. And that's nudged off Sabo for a throw-in for Waitakere. Reggie Murati. Duncan. Loses the ball that time, and Foyts. Duncan wins it back, though, for Waitakere. It's good work from him.
And they gave it away. Oh, well done. He's won that ball back.
Vandenhoven gave it away easily and then won it again. Good work from him.
Yeah, but also an awful lot of fouls going on.
Taken quickly by Waitakere. Murati's in space. He's fast. And that's nudged off Sabo for a corner.
So that's what Waitakere want to do. They want to make sure they're continuing to go forward. So they say to Suburbs, you can't commit too many players forward. You're always going to be caught for the counter. And so what we're seeing is both coaches have managed to get at half-time and sort their teams out a little bit. And so both teams have got it's 5 minutes gone. They're going to have to get back hold of the game, one of the teams.
Duncan with this corner for Waitakere. And it's flicked away by Rogerson. It's still there for Zoricic. Couldn't get a connection on it, and Thomas forces Zoricic over to the byline. And
happy with a corner.
Yeah, another corner for Waitakere.
Waitakere do have to be careful. I don't believe they've got enough players at the back, and they could get caught on a big counter-attack themselves. And it's just an interesting thing they do, where they're quite confident that they're going to win that ball. But what it means is there are opportunities. We've been games here where it's nearly happened right to death.
Duncan with another corner. And away by Gray. It was an excellent corner from Duncan again. Burfoot picks up the loose ball. Crosses it in Questley, but he hasn't been able to control it, so it will be a goal kick.
But it's an outcome. Now it's a set piece by Suburbs trying to play through. The Waitakere back players have all had the opportunity to come on back,
Michelle wins one in the air, as he customarily does. Long ball over to Foyts, and he's offside.
The wind is favouring Eastern Suburbs a little bit more. It's sort of swung around. It's sort of coming from the far corner across the pitch, and probably a 30-degree angle. So it is in their favour. But, it's the way they're playing, and they want to hit Jake Michelle with a cross ball. That means it'll be going into the wind.
Edwards up for Eastern Suburbs.
Well pulled down. Very well played.
Rogerson over to Sabo, who goes long for Sinclair. Oh, that's straight to Foyt. Sinclair stays down.
Yeah, head clash.
Referee was very quickly on the scene there, wasn't he?
Yeah, you got to be very careful with a head clash like that. He did get hit behind and he's gone down very quick. I don't think there was nothing malicious in there. It's just a challenge. Yeah, he's tried to flick it on, and of course he puts his head back, and that then just brings it into the forehead. I think he'll be all right. He's also there manipulating his neck a little bit, so hopefully it's nothing major. I mean, he's had a reasonably good season, Kingsley Sinclair.
Yeah, good young player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this again.
He's young. Look, he's tried to. Yeah, there's nothing in there, but they do happen. Those little clashes like that, and they're very awkward. Rob's going for the ball, and Kingsley's putting his head in there. They hurt, though. Wow, they hurt.
Well, Sinclair is still getting some attention, but he seems to be okay. Former New Zealand under-17s player.
What?
Kingsley Sinclair.
Okay. I've just never seen a drop ball in which he gives it to a team and they just play. You know, now they're going to get counted again. Great touch by Jack, and he's going at pace.
Here comes Grieve. Also up there is Dane Schnell. Grieve likes to run with the ball. Vandenhoven couldn't control it in the attack. Fizzles out, but good chasing by Vandenhoven to keep the pressure on.
The momentum forward was very strong there, and so they've obviously decided at half-time they're going to continue the aggressive run forward they've been doing all game, which is good to see. You know,
Voigts lost it. 3 Waitakere players there. Eastern Suburbs ball. Again, good pressure off the ball from Waitakere.
Well, they've picked
hard
up their runs now. They know who's picking up who now, and they're doing it strongly. But once again, we see Jake Michelle's posted wide, and they're going to really try and hit him over there.
Voigts flicks it through. Cromwell's back there for Waitakere. The score remains 3-0. Half-time score was 3-0, so no goals in the
10
second
minutes
half
gone
so
in the second half. Yeah, so far you'd have to say that Waitakere have weathered it well in the second half, and Eastern Suburbs will now be thinking, we need to get a goal, we need to get a goal. I mean, 3's a lot to get in a normal game of football.
Sinclair, nice ball to Voigts. Now, this is Drake in space. Brings Adam Thomas forward. Thomas, low cross. Touch at the near post, almost goes in
Great
from
save.
Reed Drake.
Another great save.
And it's still there from Sabo. And Von der Hayden is going to, in the end, give it up rather meekly there for Eastern Suburbs. So, good effort from...
I mean, this is a great cross by Adam Thomas. And it goes to a blank screen. And, yeah, it was just a really good save. But one of those ones you've got to make, which is bouncing in there. And Nick Draper's decided he's going to use his hand. He's just going to flick it out. And luckily it went to a Waitakere player for their perspective.
Here comes Waitakere again. Good ball into the centre. Nice touch. Barefoot. It's wide. It's wide.
That
but
was a good
one.
move. It was a very good move. You know, what we saw then is they're just playing in the pockets. 1, 2, 3. Sam Burfoot look, he's just punched that into the second player. Sam Burfoot's continued his run, and he's decided to take first time. I think he probably, if he had that again, he'd certainly have taken a touch.
Edwards.
Yep, foul there, first foul.
Free kick for Eastern Suburbs.
So the game's kind of started the same way as the second half. The first half
Yes,
started,
it did,
you
isn't it? Yeah, you're right, yeah.
A really good chance for Suburbs, and then a counter-attack that's caused an issue.
Here's Daniel Edwards. Good ball in. Sinclair, can he turn? Oh, he couldn't. He couldn't, and it's cleared easily by Waitakere in the end. And almost pinched on there by Alex Grieve, but Eastern Suburbs have the ball back again. Edwards, he did really well to cross that one in.
So the Waitakere players are doing very well. Any ball that comes in, they're actually getting right in behind. They're actually making sure there is no turn, so they're forcing the player to play back, which therefore brings the defending midfielders into play. So, you know, they've, as I said previously, the younger players of Waitakere have certainly learnt their lesson over the last few weeks. They're in it. Look, the last 35 minutes of this game is going to be torrid and tough. But they've learnt their lesson, and it just shows you the benefit of doing what the club's done, which is younger players, and giving them an opportunity to do what they need to do.
Gee, that was a contest for the ball, wasn't it? One in the end by Waitakere. Gray, all he does is head of that one straight to the path of Dane Schnell. He gives it back to Gray. Loose ball, bit messy, but Waitakere have it. Duncan trying to find Schnell. Now Grieve's got it. Alex Grieve creating havoc. And he earns his team a corner. Good work from Waitakere. A bit messy in the stages leading up to it, Chris, but they made something of it.
Well, Jack Duncan and Alex Grieve and Dane Schnell are really on the front foot there. When they're pressing or playing, they're doing it at real pace. And now they're saying to the Suburbs players, no, there is no rest. You've got to play with some speed. And Suburbs like to play a more measured build-up situation. And suddenly you're saying, well, you want to play, we're going to do that. And if you knock it long, the back three are going to pick it up. So, you know, it's quite good to watch.
And Duncan goes short this time to Grieve. Duncan. Still there, maybe Burfoot might have a pipe. In fact, it was Zoricic, but Sinclair did a good job. It's Milicic.
Right idea, just cooked it. Just cooked it. But, once again, it's caught them down in the corner, forced them to go play there. And so, you know, the tactics are obviously to just dull the game.
This is Foyts. Now, who's won this throw-in? Yeah, everyone's having a discussion about this.
Yeah, that's the one I think that you just got to go with what the official says. You know, you just got to stop. Oops.
We've got 2 balls on the field at the moment. Murati,
yep.
That was a bit cheeky of him, actually. He could have thrown that out. Picked it up and threw it out, but he didn't. He threw it in. Now, something's in sense Burfoot here.
Just got to calm down a bit here. You're winning 3-0. You know, you just can't allow this sort of stuff to continue. Just calm down.
Well, in the end, how this is going to end is we're going to have a substitution. And out of the game comes Rob Sabo. And on comes number 15, Stafford Dowling. And another change is being made too with Jaden van der Hayden coming out and Stephen Hoyle coming on. This is interesting, Chris. We've got a defender coming off.
So what will happen is Dan Edwards will go into left back, Christian Gray and Rogerson will go middle, and Stafford Dowling will go on the right. Adam Thomas has now come into the holder, which is probably his preferred position. So they've actually got a midfielder playing in the holding position. And I think that's going to make a big difference for the way they play. He can free himself up and he knows what he's doing in there, and he won't get caught on the ball so much as what was happening when Josh Rogerson was playing in there.
Here we are, that's Dowling. Straight away, Drake. This is looking good for Eastern Suburbs. As Foyts has it. Foyts goes for the far post, but he's overcooked it. It's still there as Crom tries to clear it. And in the end, Murati, all he does is
run it out. So this is a very attacking move by Hawani Edwards with 30 to go. Dan Edwards would not be considered a defending left back. So he's obviously going to push on, and really and truly it'll be really interesting. Reggie Murate will probably get some space to play in, and I think that's going to make an enormous difference.
Dowling still there for Eastern Suburbs. Good ball out to Edwards. Edwards now to cross this one in. It's right there. Draper's got it, and that was a big opportunity.
Should have been a goal. That's the one they've been working for. Should have been a goal.
Brilliantly done. And Michelle, watch him here. Good ball, and Michelle just couldn't get the connection there.
And then the second one, he tried to lift it over, and Draper still kept his eye on the ball.
Well, it's not. It's one of those days for Eastern Suburbs. You think about the first chance they had right at the start of the game as well, which was miraculously stopped by Draper.
And they're struggling to get that goal they need. Like, one goal will change the game because suddenly the team in front sort of locks down a little bit, and, you know.
Well, Duncan's shrugged free, and Greaves got it again. Here's a chance. Another goal, and it's Zach Zoricic. 4-0. Zach Zoricic, he deserves a goal. He hasn't scored one this season until right now. 4-0.
Very good goal, this. Ball's been delivered. Yeah, just come across, and Zach's just been patient, hit it on the half volley. I mean, Jack Duncan's just rolled Dan Edwards, and we just talked about it.
Well, we just talked about the connection there.
Yes.
Goes in, and then not 30 seconds before, Michelle can't get that connection for his team's chance. That's just how it is.
But that sort of came for you know, you've put a midfielder at left back, and suddenly it's a one-on-one twist in an 18-yard box. That is a technical skill that has been trained for many, many years. And unfortunately, Dan got caught on the wrong side, and Jack just spun him. And Jack's a good player, don't get me wrong. He could have spun anyone. But, you know, is that the result from that? Who knows? But that's what's exactly happened. At 4-0, wow. Suburbs have got a real mountain to climb, a really big one.
What a game for Waitakere. This has been their best performance of the season, you'd think. I mean, Grieve has been a real nuisance, hasn't he? He's been having a fantastic game. Look at that skill, and the ball is fantastic, but the flag is up.
Yep, I thought
the flag is up.
Thought he was.
Wow.
Just marginally, but he was definitely off.
That was a shame, I've got to say. I mean, Grieve, what a brilliant piece of work from him to create that opportunity.
I'm not so sure it's a 5-0 result in reality.
Here's Hoyle with his first touch. Now to Foyts, Hoyle chasing through. Trying to get it, he can't get it for Eastern Suburbs. Well, Alex Grieve.
Look, he's a good player, Alex. I think he can play a lot higher than this. He just needs that opportunity. He has been in America. He was part of the MLS draft, didn't get picked up. If he adds goals to his game, which he is slowly doing that, then he becomes an incredibly dangerous player. He is developing goals, that's for sure.
Well, there's his touch there, and Schnell is onside this time, but Drake is out to comfortably get it.
Yeah. So, I mean, and Zach Sorosic showed a technical ability there. You know, it's bouncing. He's just put his foot through it. He's not tried to rush it. Just a side volley, and he's hit it clean, and he's got it on target, and it's a good goal.
It is very good goal.
Very good set up and finish.
Rogerson.
Oof,
he gives away rather cheaply in midfield there. And Duncan's the target of that pass, and he's onside. Here goes Jack Duncan. There's an early ball to Schnell. And Rogerson makes up for that error by getting in the road and flicking it over to Daniel Edwards, who has it now for Eastern Suburbs. Hoyle.
You know, I think they thought they'd get Hoyle on and make a big difference, and because he's a very good player. But he's obviously been injured for quite some time.
Crom clears it away. It's Dane Schnell. Duncan, good ball again to Alex Grieve, who's got that one. Excellent vision from Duncan. Grieve, can he round that defender? He can't.
He should have a crack.
There he goes, and it's saved superbly by Drake.
Yeah. I think the game here is that Eastern Suburbs are struggling to cope with the front three of Waitakere, who basically play a 2-1 behind in Dane Schnell. But Dane Schnell's so good at his runs and his level so high. I mean, this is a good shot. At that height, straight through the middle, Daniel's got a chance. He hits the same thing low deck, and Daniel, we're looking at 5.
Well, that was a very close call. There's an excellent shot there from Alex Grieve. And now brings up yet another corner. And once again, it's Duncan, whose corners have been very good.
Oh, there's another
this time
one.
He goes over an air post this time, and it's picked up by Crom. Here comes Zorosic. Oh, that could have easily gone in off the foot there of Reed Drake, and Reed Drake would have scored a goal past his brother.
Daniel was down, he was perfect, and it's coming straight in. As a goalkeeper, you're down, and you see this foot coming, and you want to say, no, and then you just hope it goes over. That one's gone over the top, which is safe, but these corners are causing huge issues for Eastern Suburbs to deal with. It's really showing the value of the work on the training pitch. There's another one.
Duncan, very close, and Drake got it, and there's a shot coming in from Burfoot, and it stays 4-0. But Waitakere creating chance after chance after chance at the moment.
Yep, and they're going to make a sub now. I would imagine they want to maintain the pressure up front. And so Alex Connor McLean's warming up, and he's ready to come on, and that's a striker. So I would expect we're going to see one of the strikers coming off.
Burfoot. Early ball over to Dane Schnell, who can control this one. Look out!
Ooh, great block.
Wasn't it from Rogerson? Another corner.
This is...
what an excellent pass into Schnell.
Oh, look,
that
just
was a gem from
straight
Burfoot.
over the top. But that's what we were talking about before. Snell is prepared to make those runs, and he runs really hard to do that. And you'd have to say that Jack Duncan's coming off for Connor McLean, and that's a hell of a day's work for Jack. He's been absolutely superb today.
Yeah.
And just get some more pace up front with 23 to go, you know, just to make sure that you can maintain the momentum and the forward running. And our Scott McLean's a slightly different runner. He's a more direct runner. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the counter-attacking ability of Waitakere.
Yeah, Connor McLean, number 7, comes on for his 8th game of the season. And it's Grieve to take the corner now with Duncan gone. And McLean, in fact, it was Crom who was into the action there. And back there is Milicic, gives a good ball to Grieve, who came back into an onside position. Oh. And he really made it tough for himself there. Now Sinclair has it for Eastern Suburbs. It's Voights. Good hustle again off the ball from Waitakere. Now Sinclair will give up the free kick there.
That was
on Sam Burfoot.
It was just one of those ones. He's gone for the ball, he's dropped the shoulder, and unfortunately Sam, being 6 inches smaller, has worn one in the face.
Yeah, it looked a bit worse than it actually was. Burfoot tries to nudge it over to Schnell again. Rogerson over there, the 2 number 6s.
So they haven't changed. You got Nicholas Milicic coming forward for a long throw. They've decided there's more goals. As I said, they're just going to be a bit careful they don't get caught in the counter. But they think there's another goal here, which is just odd. You're winning 4-0, but a change of a mindset from a team or from the game against Canterbury.
Yeah, it really is. Milicic stayed in an onside position. Now, can he cross this one effectively? And Drake took no chances and guided it out for another corner.
I thought he just stood on that foot.
Well. It was good work from Milicic. And Grieve takes it short this time to Vandenhover, who got on the score sheet in the first half. And Drake again forced into action. He's having a really busy afternoon as Burfoot tries to bring it to control. And this is Diamond. And Burfoot
hits the deck, and so
asks for the foul, and he doesn't get one.
Suburbs could counter-attack here if they wanted to do. No, they've elected to go short. They probably had numbers in the transition that were in their favour. But yeah, Suburbs have not played to the level they're used to. And as what we've seen many times here, team can come back here.
Yes, Dowling.
Teams can come back here. But, they'll be very disappointed with the performance up till now. We're 65 minutes in, and they've had the odd chance on goal and probably some good ones, but they've not been able to manufacture consistent pressure that causes teams to eventually crack. It's all been raids that have been coped on a one-off.
Yeah, look, I think the point you raised earlier too, Chris, about that front three for Waitakere, every time we've seen Grieve, Schnell and Duncan get the ball until he got substituted, something happened just about every time. And Eastern Suburbs they were really struggling to handle it.
And I've often said to people talk about this competition. Because it's a playoff, you've got to be flying at the end. However you make it work, you've got to be flying at the end. And there's no point flying at the beginning and end. You make the playoffs and you limp into it. So, and some teams that have got forward, now Waitakere are flying. Do they make the playoffs? Who knows? But they're flying. So they're structurally, as coaches, they've got it right.
Another corner. How many corners have they had? I've got to say, I don't keep track of how many corners there've been in a football match. But there've been so many. For
numerous numbers.
That would be well over 10 now, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
15, somewhere around there?
So Eastern Suburbs are making a sub. Ryan Foyt's coming off, and Otto Ingham's coming on, who's another young player.
He had a birthday this week.
Yeah, so he's a 2003. Yeah. Oh, he is young then.
19.
Yeah.
19 he turned on 2 days ago. This is Grieve with this corner now, floats it in. Oh, Schnell was very close to getting a connection, couldn't get one. And now we've got a stoppage.
Another head clash. And, the rest being very consistent. But yeah, Otto Ingham was he originally started at this club, Western Springs. He then he was one of the ones that for futsal went to Barcelona, did really well, and then he came back. He was here for a little while, and then he headed off down to West Ole down in Wellington, and now he's come up basically with the Ole Eastern Suburbs link to play here. He's a young player. He's like a lot of these boys, 18 odd, and they're good players. They're doing their job.
Well, he's got 18 minutes now to make an impression.
It's a big ask for anyone, mate.
It is, isn't it? It really is when you're trailing 4-0. Whoa, that's just about the first mistake. First basic mistake we've seen from a Waitakere player all day. And Murati probably have to shout his teammates after that one. Although he probably made up with it. And that nice touch to Alex Grieve, who then was a little ambitious with that pass. And Gray tries to find Hoyle.
So it's Stephen Hall's like a lone ranger up there. And I'm surprised we haven't seen both Jake Michelle and Hoyle playing up front as a pair. That would make more sense, But they've got their philosophy as a club, and they're going to stick to it. And all power to them. They're a club that's really in momentum forward. They're well structured for this new setup New Zealand football want to sort of do, and we'll see if they can maintain this sort of level of aggression and football nous.
Ooh, good ball over to Connor McLean from Murati.
Because reality is that Suburbs are only one of 4 teams that have ever won this National League. with Waitakere and Team Wellington, Auckland City and Eastern Suburbs. There's no other teams ever won it over 15, 16 years. So they're doing something right, old Suburbs.
There's a strong challenge from Reed Drake.
Yeah.
A little unlucky there. He got plenty of ball, but it is a free kick against Reed Drake. No yellow cards in this game.
No.
Which has been good.
Compared to last week when there was a red card in the first 3 minutes against Suburbs for the young lads, but it was the second one that really hurt them when it was only 1-0 when the second red card went, and the last 7 goals were scored when they were up against 9 players, and the young players. It's not like they're older players that could sit in with experience and understand how to do it. So we've got a sub for Waitakere. Josh Redfern's coming on and Sam Burfield's coming off. I think what we'll see is Redfern will go in front and Alex Grieve will drop, and Dane Schnell will drop into the holder, and which is where so Leon van der Hoven and Dane Schnell will be the holders, and Alex Grieve will now play in behind the front 3.
Here goes Grieve with that free kick and straight into action. It was Crom. And it is still 4-0. Yes, rather Josh Redfern, another young player, 19 years of age, is Edwards.
He scores goals, does Josh, and often you just don't know how he scores goals. You know, he's very good at finishing, and he scores goals out of nothing. And he got the draw here against Team Wellington. Remember, out of nothing, it just sort of a long throw, bounced around, and I don't think anyone touched him there.
Well, Drake gets the free kick in a dangerous area.
I'm not sure anyone touched him there, but, fair call. Ball's come in. Yep, he's just overstepped and he's fallen. He's put his hand on the ball, force the referee to make a decision. The referee's given a free kick, so well played by Reed. Oh, no, it's good play. If the referee makes a call, you've done your job. Because he would have lost the ball then and they would have counter-attacked again. So it's worth a go, and you've got away with it. I would imagine we're going to get a shot here. They're going to play the ball short to Reed Drake outside the wall with his left foot, and he's going to try and hit it. And there are no closers down for the Waitakere to make the block.
Well,
they're all in the wall.
Drake's got to get it through.
Stephen Hoyle's pinned the outside man. Oh, he's moved now.
Thomas, all a bit pedestrian, wasn't it? Easily cut out in the end by Waitakere. Rogerson keeps his team in possession, though, as Thomas tries to find Ingham. In the end, Stephen Hoyle.
But he's been tracked, That's a difference, I think, for Waitakere over the last few weeks from what we've seen previously. They track players properly now.
And they've picked up the loose ball. And again, Rogerson is on it here for Eastern Suburbs. Michelle. Well, that's beautiful skill from Hoyle.
No, it's Christian Gray.
In fact, it is
Stayed
Gray.
up front.
And Gray, Ingham on the far post.
Oh, what a save.
He guided it through again, Draper.
What a save. That's a great save. Ingham's come on that back stick. He's really leapt high here. He's got a clean header, and Drape's just chucked out his right hand and flicked it around the post. That is maybe his best save of the game. Oh no, probably that first one.
Yeah, that first one was pretty hard to beat, wasn't it? Here's Thomas, didn't bounce kindly for him, and Greaves able to clear it downfield for Waitakere. Edwards all the way back here for his team. And it's pounced on nicely, and there's Drake. Trying to find Michelle and Hoyle in the front. Couldn't find him. And Schnell will clear for Waitakere.
Yeah, so Dane Schnell has historically been a holding centre mid. So Waitakere don't lose anything, but they do lose something going forward.
Here comes Dowling. Dowling, good cross. And it's cleared away by Crom again. Grieve calmly tries to find Redfern. And Edwards will try once more.
Interesting. There's a lot less pressure on the back players for Suburbs now, with 2 strikers on there, as compared to a midfielder who does really strong running. Dane and Alex Grieve. So, interesting.
Well, offside call. In fact, it's gone out of play.
Throwing.
And it's going to be Edwards.
4-0
to score. Yep, 4-0 to score. 3-0 at half-time. Goals in the first half to Duncan, Vandenhoven and Grieve. And Zoricic getting the goal in the second half for Waitakere. Edwards. This is Gray. And that is not a well-directed pass over to Stafford Dowling.
You put pressure on any player, they can make mistakes. You let them have the ball and they're comfortable, they can hurt you. By putting pressure on them, you suddenly say you've got to play. So you're left to force them to become better players, but they also, the error rate does rise.
Dowling.
That's what Adam Thomas can do.
Switches it over to Daniel Edwards. We'll get another chance, Edwards. Tries to nudge this one over. Drake flicks over, and it's again in the hands of Draper.
Yeah, Rob Diamond's put his head in there, and then the outside left centre half, Nicholas Millis, just ran Hoyle off the ball. And they go long. They're prepared to go long because they're saying to Rogerson, "You've got to win something in the air, mate." And he's done really, really well there because he was not in the ascendancy there.
Oh boy, oh boy! Redfern.
Then he just gave it away.
In fact, it was Connor McLean couldn't get a connection on it, and now Edwards is back with possession and in space for Eastern Suburbs. But they trail 4-0. We expected this game to be a lot closer.
Well, we did say there'd be goals. I was just expecting a 2-2 or something.
Exactly.
And
Dowling.
But I don't think we're finished. There's still goals here.
Easily cut out, and Grieve. What a fantastic game he's had until he gave up that pass to Ingham. Ingham tries to push it through to Michelle, and he's just put a bit too much Weet-Bix in the bowl this morning.
So that would be Grieve's first mistake, I think. He's not, and of course, it was a mistake because he decided to play back. That's the first time he's gone back. Normally he punches in and he goes. It just shows you, you've got to be careful. If you've beaten the press, don't go back into the press. Bypass the press and really punish the press.
Michelle strong in the air as he's been all game. And he's out of the area and can play it back in and grab it.
Interestingly, all the Waitakere players were demanding Alex Connor McCain keep going because they can sniff, putting them under more pressure, and then they'll just knock it out, And isn't it interesting?
Edwards can't keep that in. So Connor McLean's got the ball here.
And Waitakere will just take their time. There's 10 minutes to go.
Rush.
No rush, 4-0. You don't even give them anything of a sniff, really.
Well, they put on 4 in the back of the net last week against Team Wellington, 3 the previous week here against Canterbury, now 4 here. So that's 11 goals in 3 games. Excellent effort from Waitakere.
Well, considering that, I think that might double the previous 8 games. Oh, that's actually more than double.
Absolutely.
They weren't scoring many goals. The odd 1, the odd 2. But I think, as we said in the first half, Jack Duncan coming in and playing with the performance has made all the world of difference.
Edwards, that's a better ball into Hoyle. Just again overcooked it a bit, and Zoricic can clear for Waitakere.
Yeah, I think the Jack Duncan move has made an enormous difference to the club. Just his ability to retain the ball, little passes out of there, score goals, set up goals, and just suddenly when they go forward, they look incredibly dangerous. And it's quite a change from what we were seeing earlier in the season. I think Miles and I were doing those games.
Well, you were.
You've seen all the good ones.
I have, haven't I? I've been a bit lucky, actually, and I'm just looking forward to that last game of the season, round 14, where we have Auckland City playing Waitakere United. That might be a good clash coming up.
Yeah,
it is a Kiwitea. And if I tell you, if Waitakere keep playing like this, geez, sign me up for that game. Here is a ball from Christian Gray. Michelle is able to turn and try and find Hoyle, but it's dealt with nicely by Diamond. And
he's in.
Onside, and McLean and Drake.
Oh!
Play on is the call. Referee Berg says play on.
Wow, that is another player. That's a free kick. High, driving your foot through someone's head. I'd like to see that again on tape.
Well, we'll see if we can get the opportunity as Edwards plays it forward to Michelle. Now Gray. Michelle again to Thomas. Thomas in space. And it's all gone awry again for Michelle. And here's Schnell. Much deeper than he has earlier in the contest. And Edwards got the ball again.
The change of positions is what they've asked him to do.
Yeah. Here's Grieve.
Good boy. Just hooked it over the top. Just play sensible. Allow it to happen.
Edwards.
Yeah.
Can I get it? There's that incident again.
Yeah, see, Connor McLean's pulled out, the foot's come up, it's flicked him. If another player does that, it's a problem. But look, I can understand you give a little bit of leeway on the goalkeeper. But if he gets that wrong, Connor McLean's through to score.
Here is Connor McLean chasing this one. That's a good ball into Grieve. Good defending. It's still there for Redfern, and he can't find a teammate. And Sinclair got in the way. Here's Michelle.
See what they're doing? They're not letting anyone turn now.
Great.
They're not letting anyone turn, and they're forcing them to go back, and it allows your time and team time to get back into the spaces.
Stafford Dowling. This is Ingham. Otto Ingham. Nicely done. And Sinclair, can he get a shot away? He can't. That's excellent work. And away comes number 2, Reggie Maratu again. Has had a very good game.
Oh, should have let that one go. But he's obviously decided he's going to go himself.
He's gone.
He wants to score his second goal of the season.
Couldn't get it past Thomas, who stuck with him like glue. Schnell. Here's Connor McLean again. Whoops. Schnell forced to go back.
Yeah.
No harm done here for Waitakere.
No, they're not going to waste. Draper's going to do what Draper does. Go look, but this is you know, that's the first time they've forced Waitakere to do that, whereas Waitakere have done that numerous times to Eastern Suburbs, you know. So they got it wrong that time. But I'm sure the coaching staff will be happy. 6 minutes to go, plus extra, so there's probably 10.
Crom will clear that one away. Another sub is about to be made for Waitakere. And number 11 is coming off.
Alex
That's Alex
Grieve,
Grieve.
He was holding his knee before. Yeah. He was holding his knee, so.
Dylan Hobson is coming on, the young defender from Birkenhead United. Debuted against Team Wellington last week, playing the full 90 minutes. He gets a second game of the season.
He did well last week, Dylan. You know, he's a young man. He really hasn't cemented himself in the Northern League yet, getting the opportunity. And look, I thought he did really well last week. You know, it was a massive step up, and he did well. And now he'll come into a favoured position. He's sort of gone, they've gone into a back 4 here. Waitakere have decided to go into a back 4, so I assume we'll see a 4-4-2. And what we'll see is Dylan will probably go right back, and Cromie and Rob Diamond will be in the middle, and Nicholas Milicic go left back, and then it pushes Zach Sorosic up. So it's a tactical move, but I think it also will protect what's going on. They've just got to keep making sure they pack the middle.
Sinclair with this corner, and it's almost in. And Michelle, who's been very good in the air all game, just can't quite get it on target.
To be fair, he's the only one that's really looked like scoring today, but he's just, got a clean header, just it sort of come around the side of his forehead and it's just flicked in, you know. And, definitely a back 4 going on here.
Jake Michelle, 22 years of age. 6th game of the season. He's been good for Eastern Suburbs and what will be a losing effort, it seems, with only 4 minutes to play.
He's been a very good player for a long time. He had a bad knee injury, and he's come back now, and it's good to see. He's a big lad, so of course the knee injury takes a little bit longer.
Well, he plays with a good attitude too.
Oh, lovely player, lovely man, lovely player, and just really does his job, you know.
Here's Dowling trying to get past Connor McLean. Done good there, Dowling. Dowling good on the ball until he meets Vandenhoven, who's got possession.
Yeah. And now comes the counter-attack at pace.
Redfern waiting in the middle.
No,
this is Connor McLean. Ooh. Oh, he goes down, but referee's right there and says no.
Not really going to give a pen now, I doubt. Yeah. You know.
Ingham has the ball now for Eastern Suburbs. Milicic gets rid of it.
3 to go, plus extra. Suburbs got 6, so Suburbs will want to get something out of this game, even a goal, just to, so they, you know, it looks really tough at the moment. It is, you know, they're going to want something out of this game.
Michelle trying to win it again. Sinclair tries to create space to get a shot away, can't do so, and it's back in the hands of Nicholas Draper, the keeper for Waitakere. He's had a fine game as well.
Oh, he's coming on well. But to win games at this level, you need everybody performing well. You can't have some players drop off and not take chances. And we go back to right at the beginning, Kingsley Sinclair's probably had the best chance of the game. And Nick Draper's made a save, world-class save. He's just pulled it out of it. And, you know, you go, okay, but that's the difference. They can score that. The game's different.
Completely different.
Completely different.
And that's sport.
It's sport.
You've got to score. There's Edwards. Michelle. Still will work hard till the end of the contest.
But they're not letting them pass forward once they pick it up in the pockets, and that has been the difference between the two teams today.
Here goes the cross from Dowling. Boyle brings it to deck, but Crom gets rid of it. Thomas.
Yep.
And he's got the free kick for Waitakere.
Yeah, we've talked about this a lot. Young players playing in the league, you know, with Eastern Suburbs, Waitakere or wherever, they've got to learn. And you learn by doing, and you learn by winning, and you learn by working out how you can be better than a type of player you're up against. But once they learn, it's stuck, and then you start to see performances like clean sheets out of what is basically a New Zealand under-20 youth team.
Yes, indeed. Now here comes Waitakere. It's Murati. Good work from him. And Thomas got a foot on it. Fortunately for Eastern Suburbs, it was back in Drake's hands. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, it's probably getting a foot in there is very clever, because one expected Alex Connor McLean might have been sniffing him there, and you know, I don't think it's a 5-0 game. I'm actually surprised it's 4, but to be fair, every chance Waitakere sort of got, it's been on goal, and they've tried to score, and it's a different mindset, you know.
Yeah, it's been a very good performance from Waitakere, particularly in the first half. I'll really recall how they took their chances in this contest to put them in a dominant position. As Dowling takes the throw, Hoyle, he can't pick it up. And here comes Waitakere again. Thomas forced to do some more running, and that player's onside. This is Redfern. Redfern in the middle. Connor McLean is there.
Great save.
Oh, he didn't see him. He didn't see him. Redfern didn't see Connor McLean, and it's a corner.
His touch was too heavy. It carried him into the into the box, and that there was the trigger for Danyon to come. With a smaller touch, he could have seen him, but at the moment he's trying to get there, and Danyon's done a really good job there. You would say that Josh Redfern's probably should have done better, but you can never take anything away from a keeper that blocks himself, makes him look big, and it just cannons off him.
So you saw the fourth official.
3 minutes?
Yes, 3 minutes of added time.
It's the mandatory 3 minutes,
it is.
No matter what happens.
And in fact, we've had a fairly incident-free game, haven't we? As
yes.
The corner is taken. And Redfern's there. There's a chance here for someone to put it in. It's
Danyon Drake's made a worldie.
That was a pinball machine.
Danyon Drake's made a worldie there with his right hand. It's all bounced around, and without even thinking about it. Not this one. This one there. Here. There. Worldie little right hand come out and punch away. So it could have been 5.
Well, another corner for Waitakere.
These have really been dangerous today. You know, they're putting the ball on where it needs to be. They're blocking the keepers, so it suddenly becomes a jump. Nobody's getting a movement jump.
Hobson again with this corner, and away goes Drake. Fisting it clear that time. Back to Zoricic and Ingham, the two number 14s, and it's come off, Michelle for another throw in for Waitakere. Just a couple of minutes to go here.
Yep, and they're not going to change what they're doing. Nick Milicic is going to go forward, and he's going to throw it long into someone and say, we're going to force you to play in the back part of the field.
It was Connor McLean was the target that time, and they'll get another opportunity.
Always time this, you know, because they have to go defend in numbers.
They're happy to play it in the corner. Eastern Suburbs have it. Drake. Ingham. And now Dowling. And they get it over to Edwards.
The other thing about Waitakere also is Leon Vanderhoven's been playing in the midfield. I mean, he is a traditional midfielder. And now next week, Paul Hobson's got a real challenge. Gerard Garriga comes back in, and who does he play? I mean, you've got to reward team performances like this, but it just shows you, you know. The Waitakere midfield is always sort of, we've known how strong it is, but over the last few weeks, with a player out, it still keeps going.
Which is a very good sign for the team in white.
Yeah.
Now, Michelle can't bring it to deck again. He's had a tough game. Really tried hard. Without much reward, Murati
to be fair, everybody's tried hard. Even the you know, Suburbs boys have worked really hard. They're still making runs back. It's just a game that's not gone their way.
That's exactly it. So as this game winds down, it's going to be Waitakere that will take the full 3 points and move up to 14 on the competition table. That will be just one behind the team in black, Eastern Suburbs. What to win for Waitakere, their best of the season, their first at home all season. And they, after a 3-0 first half scoreline, scored one more to comfortably win it by 4-0.
It was a very good performance by Waitakere. As I said before, the young ones have learned how to win games. They're scoring goals. But also, you'd have to say, I think that Eastern Suburbs were slightly off their game today. Normally, they'd have scored 2 or 3 goals today and turned it into much tighter. So they'll look at themselves and wonder, what could we have done better in our setup? They're a very good team, and I do expect to see them in the playoffs at the end of the season. But the playoff picture is changing hugely now.
All right, so let's just recap for you. It was Jack Duncan that got the scoring underway in the 25th minute. Here is that goal. It was beautifully taken by Duncan after a clearance that didn't go to plan for Eastern Suburbs. 1-0 after 25 minutes. Leon Vandenhoven comes through the middle here.
Just direct running and just finishes it. It's a very, very good goal.
That was in the 28th minute. Then the third goal came, and this is all Alex Grieve. Again, pouncing on a loose ball. Fine run, fine finish. Really doesn't get better than that. Alex Grieve giving his team a 3-0 lead.
I think this is the best finish we've seen today.
And again, Zorisic just pounced on that one there to pump it into the back of the net. That was the only goal in the second half and completed a very good win for Waitakere. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the game here at Seddon Fields. And it is Waitakere United, the home team, comfortably winning here by 4-0.